Jalen Milroe is another one, and that's a guy that some attached to the Browns, I think probably correctly so because of Tommy Rees and the success he had. I know you have questions about him.
Yeah.
The reason I don't have a problem is if you can harness the athletic ability into a quarterback, and they're different things, boy, you've got a superstar in the making. If you can harness that. I don't know if you can.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I go back and forth on Milroe because there's context that tells us that style of quarterback isn't what the Browns are looking for. Like, look at the room they've assembled to this point. It's Joe Flacco,
Yep.
guy who's very much a pocket passer, play action. Kenny Pickett, same sort of thing, guy who's a play action passer. He can run a little bit more than probably Flacco could, and the Steelers certainly used him that way. But that's the style they're using, which screams, hey, we're going back to Kevin Stefanski's like base offense, what he likes to do. But the Browns will sit there and tell you, like, we like making our offense malleable. We like fitting different players into it. It doesn't necessarily have to be for like some prototypical quarterback. We can do different things and have different skill sets back there. Now, they tried to do that with Deshaun the last couple of years. And you can tell me, listen, they tried to do it with Deshaun, but Deshaun is just no good anymore. So that's why it didn't work. But they certainly didn't have great results building an offense kind of out of thin air for a quarterback that has that skill set. Maybe it can be different with Milroe, and and that's part of the reason why I think I understand where people are coming from or where the Browns are coming from if they were to draft him, because like you mentioned, the ceiling is so high, and if you're talking about like this entire class, we know it's not a very good one. But like if the questions are when does that run on quarterbacks go, and that group is Milroe, Dart, maybe Shuck, that group of guys. If you're trying to figure out where that's going to happen and who to take of that group, I do to an extent want the guy who has the highest ceiling. And with that athleticism, like you mentioned, if you can harness him into being becoming a better passer, which is where my concerns lie. He's super inaccurate as you see when you watch the tape. But if they can get him to be a better passer and more refined passer, then yeah, like maybe the sky is the limit for him, and maybe you do hit on somebody. So if you're going to use like a second or later pick on a guy, I do think taking for ceiling matters and potential matters, and Milroe certainly provides the highest level of that. So as much as I don't love Milroe as a prospect right now, I do understand where if that was the pick at 33 per se, I could wrap my head around that and I could see why they would do it. I wouldn't rip the Browns for doing something like that by any stretch.
No, the only thing I would say is don't use last year's offense in a sentence. Do not use what they had with Deshaun Watson in comparison to anything.